This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. We'll start now. So, yesterday we have discussed the encoder and decoder, right? So, have you tried the G chip that we can do it similar manner? Right? Now, let's look at the next option. So MIME is also one of the option that we can use it for encoding and decoding options, right? So here we can use the scheduler to run it trigger by based on the schedule time. So here in the content modifier, if you look at in the body section, we updated the text manually. Okay, MIME means this is also one of the option to do the encoding and decoding, but this is another option. Here multi-part. Multi-part means some part you wanted to encode and some part you wanted to not encode. I mean, as it is, you want to send. Like for example, you know that the PDF you wanted to do the encoding or the text images attachments. Okay, but the text, the body that you have maintained in the text, that will send as it is. So like that, if in such requirements, you can use the MIME part. Okay. So again, for that we have that option now. So when you use this option, you can use this one to decode. Okay, the decoder. And the same after decoder, you wanted to do the encoding again. So for the encoding option, we have this step called encoding. Okay, so here we have the small configuration step, multi-part subtype. Okay, so here the encoding option, you have option like to select. So what are these options? Alternate, digest, mixed. All these options is nothing but how you wanted to do the encoding. Okay, mixed means you can do the text versus the actual readable and the non-readable format. Alternate to digest. We just refer the document that we have it now. So there you have all the descriptive meaning about each option. You wanted to include multiple header lines, you can use this. If you don't want multiple header lines, just uncheck it. Multiple header lines. Header lines means you have the attachment, right? So under the attachments, you have the columns and the rows, the first row, right? If you don't want the first row, just uncheck it, and you are sending it to the mail. So just wanted to write it. You just write it. You can use the mail one.
So Kumar,
Yeah.
we can download these artifacts, is it?
Yeah, you can download that. Okay, just deployed it. Let's see the message. So it is completed. So we have the MIME multipart decoder, right? The decoding options for the decoding, and the same thing, the same message again we are doing for encoding as well. And the encoding option is showing like this. So once you encode, this is the text is creating, and this is about the, as I told you, the based on the content type. So here multipart mixed, so they based on the content it works. But actually, we will use these elements in the iflow. Okay, so the application, if they wanted to do on the receiver side, as I told you yesterday, so they have to use on their end also to decode the decode the data from encoding. Okay, so this is one of the option. So now there is another option, right? GZIP. So the GZIP option, you tried it, right? So it will go in
So
that way.
now, we got actually 4 emails got triggered, right?
Now 2 times I deployed. That is why 4 emails. Same I
Okay.
flow, 2 emails, right? So
Mhm. And the first one is the decoder content, is it? Of the content
yeah,
modifier.
yeah.
Okay, so it performed to.
Yeah, actually here we have two mail connectors now. So two mails will receive it. Since I did 2 times, so you can see the four emails there. Okay. So now you tried the GZIP, right? Anybody has not tried yet? GZIP. It goes in the same thing like zip decompression only. Okay. So now we will discuss the filter option, which is very important thing. Okay. Filter looks like very simple, but there is having very lot of depth meaning there. Okay. So we will explore about the filter option. How many ways we can use the filter in the algorithm. Hmm. So the filter is one of the step, as you know that you can the entire iceberg we can use this filter. and do copy. Okay, so let me explain you about theoretically what is filter, then we look into this iflow. So the filter, why we need to use this filter? Because what is the purpose of having this step? Uh, because we need, you are getting a values or the message in which you wanted to send a specific values to the next step. Okay, you don't want to send everything there, you need to filter the message. Okay, so you can filter it at different levels. Okay, but you wanted to filter into the specific segment, so those segment of the population only will go. So you wanted to use the filter in that case. Okay. For example, there are in the organization there are active employees and terminated employees also there. You want to filter to only the terminated employees, so that the terminated employees you will send the monthly report. Okay, so you can use a filter condition. And if I want to tell another example, you wanted to send only the only hire people who are hired from last 1 month. You need to send those employees list, right? So you have to filter out of the whole population. Okay, so recently it is like a filter, right? The meaning, the general meaning of the filter is also shows in the same way. So here also the same meaning. But here the trick is you need to experience, you need to know how to use this filter in the iflow. Okay. So the way you use a filter, the meaning will change accordingly. Okay. So let's look at this iflow. So here we have used this filter in 5 different ways to understand the completely. Okay. So just by seeing that you can get it, you may not able to completely understand, but try to practice after this. Okay, so that you will clearly understand, and also is very useful as well, because we will use most of the times in the iflow for the purpose of filtering the values, right? So uh, just try to understand in and out of filter condition. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Mm, so here we just started with scheduler. Then in the content modifier, we updated the message manually. This is the XML message. Okay, so this message we updated manually, and in this message only we wanted to filter the condition. Okay, so example, let me open the message. So here is the XML message that we updated in the content modifier. So we need to use the filter conditions after this message. Okay, we put it in the XML way. So here is we started with the students, then student. Under the student you have the elements called ID, name, class. Okay, then closing this node, student, then another node will started. Like that, all the nodes are started. Okay, but if you look at the starting one, the students, what do you call this one? What do you call the first one? Students.
Node list.
Exactly, the node list. And the second one, student, a node. Right, this is the node. And next is followed with the elements. Have we covered this filter? Not yet. We have covered this
No,
step.
no.
Okay, so the student is a node. Then after that, it has the elements like ID, name, class, all these things. We call it as elements from XML message pointer. Generally, from our system perspective, we call it as a fields, right? So these called elements are the fields. So the structure, XML structure, in fact, every XML structure will follows like this: node list and then node in which the elements are there, right? So every XML message, how many node list will be there? There should be only one node list, right? But the nodes will be repeatedly will have. Node is nothing but a record. If you look at in the database, records will contain, but in the look at the list of the table, it has one table in the one object, right? If you look at, for example, per personnel is only one object in which it has only one node list. Under that, you have different nodes, nothing but records. Okay, so each node will have the values which are like elements that we are seeing, like ID value, name, class, like that. So the node list and node and the elements. So when you are defining the X path, it will follow this structure, the XML structure. It has started like that. So the root value here is node list, then the node, then this value will come. So if I ask you the X path of class, what is the X path of the class? What is the X path of the class? The class, if I what is the X path for the class?
It's student slash student,
Hmm?
students slash student.
Slash class, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. So the X path will be defined based on the structure. Okay. So now let's go back to the icon. So just the purpose of expanding the branches, we have used this parallel multicasting. Multicasting is nothing but it doesn't have any configuration, just will extend the branches. Okay, for example, if you are defining the arrow mark in the single direction, right, the same message you wanted to create another branch. So for expand creating another branches, we will use the multicasting. So here the multicasting just to expand the branches, and whatever the connected data is there, the same data only will goes in all branches. Okay, so now how many branches we have created? 5 branches here. Okay, branch A, B, C, D, E. All 5 branches. What we are doing here, we are using the filter condition, but we are using for different purposes. If we look at for example first filter, right? So when you use the filter, where is the filter will be there? Just go to message transformers and filter step. Okay. So now the first one is the filter processing. Under the processing, just we have the only two lines, but these two lines will give you a lot of meaning. Okay. So the first field is XPath expression. So you need to define the XPath. For example, you wanted to filter to the class, then you can give slash student class. Okay, the XPath. I mean, where you wanted to do the filter, you need to give the XPath of that. And next field is called value type. What is value type? Value type means what type of filter you wanted to apply. What type of filter that you need to apply. So here there are list of values are there. Node list, node, integer, boolean, string. Okay. So if you select a node list, what will happen? So you wanted to do the filter in the area of node list. So basically value type means how you wanted to do the filter. Okay. You have a glass of water, so you wanted to filter how you wanted to do that. Same way here also showing the first field is nothing but the X path. Just to define the path of the X path about the filter where you want to apply. But here how you want to do the apply. So here node list means the entire message, because node list means where is the node list here in this message? Students, the starting one is the node list, right? So when you're given this node list, that means the entire message will be filtered. If I select a node, what will happen? If I select a node, what will happen? Any guess?
Students will come.
Hmm?
Only students will come. The first node, that is that.
Only the first node or all the nodes?
I mean that main node will come, and within that all will come.
I mean, as you said, firstly, that is correct. The first node only will check because all nodes are same.
Okay.
So when you are given the node, then it will check the first node. Whatever the first node comes in the XML message, that will be filtered. And next, we have integer and boolean a string. Okay. So either integer means you have the values, right? Numerical values you have. But by the way, a boolean or integer string that will apply uh, in the area of parameters list called fields. Okay. So these, if you wanted to apply in the area of ID or name or class, you can use the uh, these values, boolean, integer, string. Okay. A boolean means yes or no, right? If any field or any parameter is maintaining like yes or no values, then you can use true or false statements and use the boolean. Integer, if the values are the numeric values, then you can use integer. String, everything, it contains both numerical and any other value. You have parameters, you can use the string. If I select a string, what will happen? So it will check again the first string. Here first string is the ID. Okay, it will check only the ID. It will not check the name or class. It will check only the ID. Okay, it will check the only the ID when you given the value type is string. Okay, so now you understand what is value type here. Value type is how you wanted to do the filter. XPath is what you want to filter. Okay, so here I want to filter it a student, then I have given the XPath of slash student slash student, then the value type that we wanted to select a node list. Okay, Then whatever the values that is filtered, those values will send it to the mail. Okay. So in the mail, we have mentioned the subject called first filter, just to identify the name. Okay, those values you can see in the email, that after deploy you can see the values. Now let's look at the next filter. So in the next filter, we have given the values like this: /student, student class. Okay, so that means it has come to, we have given this up to this path, student, student class, right? Then value type is the note. So anyone can guess what will be the output of this statement? Student, student class, and value type is note, right? So here you are giving the value type is the node. Node means that it will check for only the first node, right? So what will be the output?
Will it be 10?
10
I think
means,
class
10.
yeah,
will come.
exactly. So class 10 closing tag. So the value 10 is correct, but it comes along with that XML tags class. Okay. So that is the second filter value. So that will, you can see it in the mail. And the third one, we are given like this: /student, student ID. Okay. So again it is checking the ID value, the XPath that we wanted to filter at ID, right? The parameter called ID. So here value type we are given the string. Okay. So we are checking in the area of at string level. So what will be the output for this? Student, student ID. So we are checking it,
ID 1 and ID.
but here we have applied the string, right? So
Hmm.
therefore it comes only without tags. It comes without XML tags. It will come. So that means the value 1 will be appear.
Okay.
Okay. That is about the third filter. Next, fourth filter. In the fourth filter, we are giving this type of conditions also. /student, student, closed brackets. What do you call the square? Within the brackets, ID greater than 10. So that means if any node which is a ID is having a 10 and you wanted to filter at a node level. Okay. So what are the values comes? If you look at the message, so you want see the XPath. He has given this XPath is student/student/student, not given at the parameters. Okay, he has given just up to the student. That means you wanted to filter at node level. Okay, and the condition is given ID greater than 10. So if any ID which is having a 10, so that node will be appeared. Here is the one. So the output will becomes like this with XML tags. Why? Because the value type is selected as node. Okay. If the value is selected is a node list, then it will come more than one. If it is 11 are there, it comes. But he has selected here node only. So only the one node will be appeared. So the output will be comes like this. Only the ID value. The next, the fifth one. Okay, why we have distributed is you need to understand the different types of filtering. Therefore, you can use those values. So now you can just guess and tell me what will be the output. So the XPath expression is student ID, and value type we have selected as a node list. Okay, so
I believe all the IDs come.
exactly. So all IDs will be come from the entire message. ID 1 with XML tags 110, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay, all the IDs will become. Why all the IDs? Because you selected a value type as node list. Okay, so good. So you guess the right outputs. Let's see. Okay, so just look at the first filter. So in the first filter, what is the condition we have given here? Student node list, right? So when you are given the node list, then all the nodes will be appeared, right? So that is why you're showing all the nodes. So whatever you have updated in the content modifier, the same message comes, but what exactly the difference there? There is XML version is there, XML version so and so, right? That will not be uh, uh, added here. Why? Because here you are doing the filtering, so it will come so only the filter values are. So the XML version, whatever the starting structure, that will not be added here. And one more thing is the if you see the difference, it where it has started student, right? So that means it started with the node, but it has started with where it has started. Actually, it started with the XML version, but after that, students started with the node list, right? But that node list will be removed when you are selecting this option, right? Node list. Then the first students will not be there. It started with the node. Why? Because the condition that we applied like that. So therefore, the condition is showing in the same manner. So if you wanted to get the same message like students also, then how to give the condition here? So here,
Just put students slash, that's it, and nodes node information like in XPath. Would that
node
work?
list, yeah, correct, exactly. So the XPath expression is slash students, value type is the node list, so that you can get the node list as well. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Student class. Okay, so class means the first node only will becomes, which includes the class. Yeah, class. Why showing only the class, only the 10 with the tags? Why not the entire node? Why? Because
Because we selected class.
exactly, including class we have selected in XPath. And the third filter is again same like a
But
class,
filter,
but you selected
class one
ID.
should come, right, Kumar? For the second filter.
Hmm?
For the second filter, class 1 should appear, right? Instead of class 10. Can you please
Second
go back
fil
to the XML?
second
Can you
filter
yeah.
class.
Here we are given the path as class, right? If you go to that
Yeah.
XML class,
Hmm.
XML,
Okay.
We have the first one as. Oh, okay, got it. I thought its first one is one. I'm sorry.
Okay. So now let's look at the third filter. So the third filter is same like a class, but here is the ID. Okay, but the only difference is in the value type we have selected as a string. So that means without XML tags it has to come. So go to third filter. So the third filter, the value is 1. Why without a tags? Because there you have selected a string. If you select a node, then the tags also will be appear. And next filter is fourth. Fourth, here we selected the node. Node means it comes with that XML tags, but the ID greater than 10. So greater than 10, if any values are there, those will comes. Any values are there in the XML message? ID greater than 10.
Here,
Greater than, here is
it
not,
says, yeah, it says 10, but it's not greater than 10. What if you
yeah,
still select?
greater than 10. So there is no value which is showing greater than 10, right? So that means should be empty message. So go to fourth filter. Yeah, see, fourth filter is empty message because nothing is there. If you given greater than or equal or greater than 9, then maybe the 10 message will come. 10th message will be, I mean, the ID equal to 10, that node will be appeared. So next filter is student ID and node list. So all the IDs along with the tags will be displayed. So go to the quick filter and see the message. So the beauty of the filter is the XPath will be changed. I mean the XPath of the XML message will be changed before filter and after filter. Okay. For example, this is how the message is coming, right? So and where is the node list? Where is the node? The entire XML message will be changed, right? So that is another good thing. So based on what they want, you wanted to process, you can apply in the same manner. Okay. Any doubts or questions?
Here the filter will work only on the XML message, meaning that the input file should be always a XML file. Like if we have any other format, then this will not work, right?
Yeah, of course. Even as I told you beginning, if you wanted to use the CPI, the message should be in XML format.
Okay.
Why it should be XML format? What is the reason?
Maybe CPI
That
needs.
also we discussed. Hmm?
Yeah, in SF also you are using the XML only.
SF also using XML. Okay, that is not the main reason. But why? What is the reason to use the XML messages? I mean, why CPI will process only the only the XML based messages? What was the reason for that? No idea. So the reason is the CPI tenant is built based on the Camel Foundation. Okay, and the Camel Foundation runs on Java code, and it 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 process only the XML based message. Because of that dependency, CPI is also has to process the XML based messages. That is the main reason. Because the CPI tenant, the way we are applying, we are developing the iflow, the entire framework has followed and built on the based on Camel Foundation. So therefore, whatever it applies, it has to apply here also. So now a small another task for you. for like today's homework. Okay, so that is we just here I just updated the message manually, right? So now here you just connect it to SuccessFactors system and extract any object, EMP job or per personal, okay, and put it 5 values as like this, but you change the XPath expressions accordingly, okay, because here since is the student's information we have updated the XPath student, but the EMP job you can update accordingly, okay. So but apply these 5 different ways of XPath. This is the task for you, okay. So use EMP job, then you can do the filter values.
Uh, Kumar, last time I believe we started using this EMP job and there were no values in those entities, so we had issues, right? Is it still okay, or should we just go for the per personal and bring some basic information?
Yeah, you get the information, no? And not you
Mm-hmm.
mean not getting data from SF?
Uh, yeah, when we used EMP job, I mean when it was a personal per personal entity, we were able to extract record, but when we used the EMP job,
EMP job, okay, no, that is also coming now.
okay.
Yeah. So use EMP. In case if you see any error, you can use per personal also. Okay, the main purpose is how do you filter these values from the SF based on the data that comes from SF system.
Okay.
So use this as a reference, and you can you can create that IP. Okay. What is the next steps here? Next is message digest that we are not used. Next is the script. So in the script we use the Groovy script actually. So script, I will touch this part script now. So basically we will see the scenarios of 2 or 3 scenarios. Okay, but after we will discuss the script is just to give you basic overview and try to implement 2 or 3 scenarios. After that again, after finish the entire everything, all the elements, then we'll come back to the scripts, then we'll discuss the in the depth as well, because so that meantime you'll get used to use the scripts. Okay, so next topic is scripts. Anybody knows a Groovy script from this group? Anybody has used this Groovy script? No, right? So everyone is new to this script, right? So here we will use only the Groovy script. I mean, we will discuss the Groovy script because most of the times we use the Groovy script. Anybody has as a Java developer, then they can use the JavaScript, but Groovy script is most better.
It is up to the consultant, Kumar, which script we have to go.
Groovy script.
I mean, if you know, like, no, I mean, JavaScript, we can go for JavaScript, or if you know,
Yeah, of course. If there is a Java developer, is having a in and out of the Java programming in Java scripts. JavaScript is also another programming language. So if he knows the JavaScript, because every Java developer also doesn't know JavaScript. So the person who knows both Java and JavaScript, they can write, they can use the JavaScript. The difference between JavaScript and GroupScript is if there are 10 lines of JavaScript, one line is sufficient with the GroupScript because more business keywords are there. that we can use it in the Groovy script. And also most of the times we use the Groovy script not only in the CPI, but wherever it is integration nowadays, it is more compatible with the Groovy script. So even SAP is also using most of the time a Groovy script.
But it's not like any scenario based. We need to go for either Groovy or JavaScript, is it?
Meaning, what scenario?
I mean, like, is it? We need to go for Groovy or Java. I mean, it's not like based on scenario, is it? In the
No,
sense,
it's
like, whenever we need to go for a script, we can go for Groovy or Java. But it's not like any particular scenario we have to go for Groovy or Java.
I know it's not about like scenario. Yes, here the CPA is giving two options: use Groovy or the Java. If you know Java, use JavaScript. If you know the Groovy, you can use Groovy script. Okay, but in the training purpose, Groovy script is having more better flexible than Java. So we are decided to use the Groovy script. It is not about something scenario based as to use both. There is no scenario like to use both. Any one is fine.
Okay.
So you just read uh, after finishing this iflow. Just if you have time, just have a look on the basics of Groovy script. Okay. So in this topic, we will discuss this the use cases. Okay. We will not start with the ABCD of the programming language. We will not discuss the programming language, but we will discuss the how to use the code based on the use cases. Okay. So uh, the Groovy script most of the times you use it in the based on the business logic, right? So better just have a look at review at a Groovy script so that you can understand more easily to discuss this stuff. Once that's finished, then we will go to the field after the Groovy script. We will discuss the routing steps. Okay, we start with the aggregator, then it goes on. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss the Groovy script. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Any questions from this?
Maybe it may not be related to this class, but in general, like again, maybe back to day one or day two class down. Like in general, CPI accepts only XML format. So in that case, like we need to ask the client to send only the CPI XML file for processing.
Uh, but if the customer doesn't have the XML message, then we need to process such type of data also, right? For example, customer, there is you can say there is a payroll system. Okay, so after run the payroll, they can place the file. Before placing the file, also there is a file system. Okay, there is a payroll system, and from the payroll, they wanted to say update the you can say any kind of information that they wanted to update in success factors. This is the situation. Okay, so they call you because you are integration consultant, so they're asking to provide the solution. Okay, so as an integration consultant, you need to see the current situation. What is the current situation? So the situation is there is a payroll system which runs on .NET based or some other technology, and the data that they not in XML data, but the data will be processed. If you wanted to send it or wanted to download the data in CSV, or the notepad or any other format they will give you, but that is not going in through XML. Okay, so this is a situation. How to do that? So you need to provide a solution like, okay, so if the data is not in XML, that is fine. So you just place the file somewhere in the location physically with CSV format. From there we will process through the CPI. Okay. So for that, from CSV to XML, you need to use the converter first. Then it will convert it to XML. There you will process further into CPI. Okay. So the answer is, we may not ask you the customer to has to provide an XML message. Okay. But in the CPI, yes, it is an XML based, but that is why they are providing the converters also. No? Like converters means from XML to CSV to XML, right? Or the JSON format to XML.
Yeah. Now I
Why
remember.
they are
Yeah.
providing? Yeah, why they are providing? Because if any data that is not in XML format, and that will be processed by using these converters. So therefore, the data will become into the in the XML manner.
Yeah. Got your point. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow then.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Kumar.
Yes.